Okay, so in today's class, we'll finish off with the remaining two problems, two or three problems. Then we'll move on to small signal analysis of MOSFET. Okay, okay. So your next problem here is okay, first question, right? Find the ID value. Find the ID value for the following specifications. VTH is equal to zero point 0.5 volts. Mu n COX is 100 micro amperes per volt square. W by L is 5 by 0.18. Lambda is 0, which means there's no channel modulation. Right. And the circuit diagram is this. I have VDD here. Okay. Then this is given. Some of these values are given. This. Excuse me. Okay. So this is 4 kilo ohms, 10 kilo ohms. Okay. This is RD. It is not given. Okay. This is 1 kilo. Okay. So two things you have to find here. You have to find ID. Okay. You have to find RD. All right. Uh, now, the simple way to start this is consider this voltage as say VG. Okay. Then this would be VGS, and this would be VGS. Now, right. Then solution. Okay. What would be VG? How can I find VG here? Okay, VDD value. Okay, VDD is 1.8 volts. Okay, so VG is nothing but the voltage of this voltage divider bias formed by this 4 and 10K. So VG is VDD by R1 plus R2. That is 4K plus 10K into R2, which is actually 10K. This is R1, this is R2, this is RS. So 1.8 divided by 10K plus 4K into 10K into, yeah, 10K. So this will turn out to be 1.286 volts. Okay, so this I've already calculated, right? So VG is 1.286 volts. And now if I apply, say, KVL in this direction, KVL like this, KVL, okay, what I get is, I get VG minus VGS minus ID into RS equals to 0. Substitute all the values here. You should get 1.286 minus VGS. I don't know. By using this VGS, I'm going to find ID. Okay. So how am I going to do that? I don't even know ID. Right. RS is 1 kilo. So like this equal to 0. This I will write it as VGS is equal to 1.286 minus 1000 into, right. Okay. Correct. So this I will call it as equation 1. Okay. So using this and substituting this in my saturation current equation, I'll get a quadratic equation for ID. Okay. Now using that, I can find the value of ID. Now if I find the value of ID, I can find the value of VGS also by substituting that ID value in equation 1. Right. So So yeah, ID equals to half mu1 COX W by L into VGS minus VT H whole square. This in some problems it says as VTH, some problems, some textbooks it says as VTH, some textbooks it says as VTN. All those are same thing. Okay. Uh, Substitute all the values which you know. So half mu and COX is 100 micro, 100 micro into W by L is 5 divided by 0.18. Okay. Into VGS. And now I don't know what this VGS value is. So this I will substitute it in. Call this equation 2. Substitute 1 in 2. Okay. So 1.286 minus 1000 times ID minus VTH, which is 0.2. Right. Now if I solve this, so I get ID equals to 0.0014 into 1.653 plus 10 power 6 ID square minus 2572 ID. Okay, I told you, we get a quadratic equation. So if I write this in the form of the quadratic equation, so 1400 ID square minus 4.6 ID plus 0.0023 equal to 0. Right. So this is the equation you get. Now you can use your calculators. You can find the value of ID. Okay. Now, once you find the value of ID, you get two values. One is 0.000615. Yeah, these are the values I got. And 0.00267. Now, among these two, which is valid? Okay, among these two, which is valid? How will you find out? Among these two, which is valid? Okay, and both of them are in amperes. No, they're not in milliamperes. They are in amperes. So tell me which one is valid, which one is invalid. Anyone? Okay. You can actually substitute these values. Okay. Substitute ID in equation 1. Equation 1. Okay. So for corresponding ID values, okay, say ID equals to 0.000615. The corresponding VGS value is actually 0.671 volts. Okay. Then ID value for 0.00267. So for this, the corresponding VGS value is minus 1.384. Okay, these values you can get on your own. Okay, you can solve the problem on your own. Okay, so obviously among these two, this is invalid. Okay, VGS which we are giving, it cannot be negative, right? For an NMOS transistor. So the final values for the final values of ID is 615 milliamperes and VGS is 0.671 volts. Okay. So these are the final values. my problem is not over yet. I have to find the value of RD. Okay. This current flowing through RD I have found. ID, VGS I have found. Now I have to find what would be RD value, right? Uh, to find that RD value, what to do is you take KVL in this direction. Not necessarily the entire thing. Okay. So what I do is, see, the condition is that this MOSFET, it has to be in saturation. Okay. Not in cutoff or in okay, triode region. It has to be in saturation region. So the limiting condition for MOSFET to be in saturation. Okay. So limiting condition is VDS is equal to VGS minus VT. Okay. From this I can see VGS value I already know, right? So VDS is 0.671 minus 0.5. So that turns out to be 0.171. So this is my VDS value, right? But why we need to find the VDS value? So without finding this value, VDS value, I can't find RD, right? Now I can find RD as applying the potential drop across RD is nothing but VDD minus VDS. So that is the reason I have to find VDS. Okay. So from this, VDD minus VDS by RD is right. So substitute all the values 1.8 minus 0.171 divided by ID which is how much? 615 milli is equal to R. Okay, so this turns out to be 2.648 kilo ohms. Okay, so finally the diagram, from this diagram RD is 2.648 kilo ohms, ID is how much? 615 milliamps, and VGS. Okay, VGS is 0.671 volts, and the corresponding VDS is 0.17. So these are the values which you get. Final answers. Right. Any queries in here? Okay, so this is basically a small design problem. Yeah. These are my solutions. These are my solutions. Right. Any queries still here? Any kind of problems? Here, what I've done is I've simply the crux part of the problem is this VGS is equal to 1.286 minus 1000 into ID. That I have to substitute in my current equation. Then my current equation will transform into a quadratic equation with its with ID as its variable. So I get 1400 ID square minus 4.6 ID plus 0.023 equal to 0. And it's a simple matter of using your calculator and finding out its roots. So you get two values. Among them, one will be invalid. Okay, now it is not straight away apparent which value is invalid. Okay, whether the 615 milliamperes is invalid or 2.67 milliamps is invalid. If it is, if it is confusing, then substitute these values of current in the VGS equation. Okay, there it will become clear which value of current will be invalid. Right? So that's what I've done here. So I got for 2.67 milliamps, my VGS value was negative. Right. So here it becomes clear that uh, this value of this value of current is invalid, and this is my actual ID and VGS values. Okay, so from there on, I use my limiting condition for the MOSFET to be in saturation, which is VDS is equal to VGS minus VT. I found the value of VDS. Now I know the VDS value, I know VDD value, and I know the ID value. Okay, so use this potential drop across. This is basically potential drop across R. Okay, I'm using this to find out the value of R. So which turns out to be 2.648 kiloohms. Yeah. So this is actually a problem from Razavi. There's a textbook called Razavi, which I've already uploaded in the Google Classroom. So this is a problem from there. Okay. If you want to solve more challenging problems, I think this is the go-to textbook. Right. In Cedar Smith, the problems are actually quite simple. Yeah. Anyway, let us move on to the second problem. Any queries? Stop me. Okay. Okay. Now let us move on to the second problem here. Right. So here again, this is a design problem. So design circuit. Sure. That's it. Okay. And this circuit is this G. This is MOSFET. This is VDD. This is RG. This is RS. This is ground. This is minus VSS. Okay, so the given data is the DC drain bias, drain current bias. Okay, so that should be ID equals to that is 0.5 milliamperes. VD is plus 2 volts. VT is 1 volt threshold voltage. mu1 COX W by V. So this is 1 milliampere per volt square. Lambda is 0, and VDD is equal to minus VSS. Okay. So this is the data which is given. Right. What needs to be found? What needs to be found are RD value, RG value, and RS value. Okay, so these three are to be found. Now, solution. Again, this is a problem which has two dual supplies, VDD and minus VSS. Okay. No. VD value is given, right? So that is this voltage. Okay, that is this voltage, not this VDS is not given, only VD is given, right? So if I apply the potential drop formula for RD, okay, I will get VDD minus VD by RD equals to ID. Okay, I know the ID value, which is 0.5 milli is equal to VDD is 5 volts minus 2 volts divided by RD. So from this, RD equals to 6 kilo ohms. Okay, so RD value I found. So this is done. Okay. Next I have to find RS value. RS value, for RS value, actually I have to use this KVL. Okay, but for that I need to know the value of VGS, right? So that we'll find out now. Okay, so if I apply the KVL in this direction, okay, in this manner, so I will get minus VGS minus ID into RS plus VSS equal to 0. Okay, minus VGS, I can write this as VGS equals to VSS minus IDRS. Again, substitute the values. VGS is equal to VSS is 5 minus IDRS. IDI, no, 0.5. I don't know the value of RS. Keep it like this. So let me write this as equation 1. Substitute 1 in drain current equation. Drain current equation. Okay, so ID equals to half mu1 COX W by L into VGS minus VT. Substitute all the values, 0.5 milli, half. Okay, mu and COX values are 1 milli. Okay, so this is 1 milli into 5 minus 0.5 milli into RS minus VT. VT value is 1 volt minus 1 volt square. So from this, I don't think you'll get any quadratic equation or anything, obviously. From this, you can directly find the value of Rs. So this and this entirely will get cancelled. So Rs here is 4 minus, which is 3 divided by 0. Actually, it is same as the RD value. So Rs is also 6 kilo ohms. Okay, so this is also done. Okay. Now I have to find the value of RG now. Okay. Just for the sake of completeness, let us find this VS value. This value. Okay. Find the value of VS. Okay. So that I think is very simple. What you do is you substitute RS value in equation 1. Okay. So VGS is 5 minus 0.5 milli into 6 kilo. Kilo and milli will be cancelled. This is 3. So VGS is actually 2 volts. So VGS is VG minus VS, okay, which is 2 volts. VG is actually connected to 0. VG, this is VG. It is connected to ground. So VG is actually 0. So this is 0 volts. So 0 minus VS is equal to 2 volts. VS is minus 2 volts. Okay. Now what would be the value of, what is the value of RG? Okay. Now there is no current which is flowing through RG. Okay. This current IG is actually 0. There's no current flowing through RG. But what this RG signifies is when I'm using this amplifier, okay. So if I connect an input like this, input signal like this, okay, and if I look at the input impedance seen from this direction, okay, it should be a lot. Okay, it should have a high input impedance. So what I do is this RG value I typically keep it in mega ohms. Okay, so this RG value can be selected, say from 1 mega ohm to 10 mega ohms, 10 mega ohms. Okay. So this is it. So we have found the values of RS. We have found the value of RD. We have found the value of RG. Okay. Any queries still here? Any problems still here? No? All right. Then in that case, yeah, anyone? Okay. RG, I should explain again. All right. See, this RG value here, which you have, this RG value which you see here, okay, there is no current flowing through RG. Okay. And when you have an amplifier, okay, when you have an amplifier, right, here you have the input and you have the output. So ideally, what should happen in an amplifier is its input impedance, ZI, okay, when you look from this direction, okay, it should be very, very high, should be very high. And the output impedance which you see like this should be very, very low. It should be low. This you have already learned in LIC. Okay. All right. If you take an op amp, an ideal op amp will have infinite input impedance and the output impedance will be practically ideally zero. But practically it is the order of mega ohms and input is in the order of mega ohms or giga ohms, whereas the output impedance is few ohms, okay, a few tens to say 100 ohms, okay, not even 100, a few tens of ohms, right? So now how do I achieve this high impedance? Okay, it is by having a very large resistance connected to the input. And MOSFET by default, gate is completely isolated from the drain and source, right? So essentially, this high value of RG will actually add to that. Okay. So when I draw the small signal model of this, I think it will become very apparent. Okay. But here, this RG value which you take, okay, that should be high enough to offer high input impedance. Okay. And the purpose of having this high input impedance here and low input impedance here is for impedance matching. Okay, this you already know. Okay. So that is why RG is RG have taken in the in this range from 1 to 10 milliamps. Okay, hope that's clear. Any queries? All right then. Okay, then I'll exit this chat and I'll re-enable the link again. Join back. The time is okay. It's, it's about to end now. Okay, so final problem. Okay, this actually problem. This problem is actually based on the last concept which we learned, the current mirror concept. Okay. This is minus VSS. Here again, B. This. Okay. So this is Q, transistor Q, Q2, and Q1. Okay, the current which is flowing through R is IREF, I reference. Current flowing through Q1 is IQ, ID1. Q2 is ID2, and Q is ID. Right. The given data is W2 by W1 is 5 and L1 L2 by L1 is 1. That is basically saying that lengths are same. I is 0.5 milliamperes. Okay. Now I is the current ID is 0.5 milliamps. VDD equal to minus VSS equals to 5 volts. Mu1 COX W by L is 0.8 milliamp per volt square. Then you have VT, which is 1 volt, and lambda equal to 0. No channel information. Right. What is asked? Okay. Find R, the value of R, gate voltage at Q1 and Q2. Okay, so this voltage basically VG is asking you to find VG, not VGS, just VG. And the lowest voltage allowed at drain, allowed at drain of Q2, allowed at drain of Q2, while Q2 remains in saturation. Okay, so the last part actually is actually simple. No, it is asking this condition: VDS2 is equal to VGS2 minus VT, right? So he's actually asking you what is VD2. Okay, so VD2 is nothing but VDS2 plus VSS. Okay, VS2 I'll get. VS2 is nothing but VSS. So he's basically asking what is VD2. Okay, so it's a very fancy way of asking the answer. Okay, so straightforward problem, nothing confusing here. Okay, so let us dive in to solution. Right. So he is asking you to find the value of R and the gate voltage VG. Remember Q1, Q2, the gate voltage is same. Okay, gate voltage of Q1 is same as gate voltage of Q2. Obviously, because both of them are parallel. And drain voltage of Q1, this voltage, drain voltage of Q1 is same as gate voltage of Q1. Drain voltage of Q1 is same as gate voltage of Q1 because both of them are shorted. So if by this, when you short this, when you make this short between drain and gate, you are essentially forcing the transistor Q1 to be in saturation region, right? So that is the idea behind this shorting. Okay. So first, let us look at Q1. Okay, let us look at Q1. In Q1, you know that yeah, how is that? You know that I reference is ID1. Okay, I reference is ID1. And ID1 is half mu1 COX W by L. You are going to be looking at this saturation equation a lot. Okay. So by the time you finish off this course, this will actually be imprinted in your mind. Okay. Anyway, so this is ID1 and VGS1 is actually VDS1. See, I'm writing all the parameters, all the equations associated with Q1. Okay. And if I take KVL in this direction, if I take KVL, okay, I will get VDD minus IREF into R minus VDS1 plus VSS equal to 0. Okay. Okay, so from this I can write it IREF is ID1 equals to VDD minus VDS1 plus VSS by like now this is equation 1, this is equation 2. Okay. Now I've looked at Q1. Let me look at Q2 now. Q2. Okay. Here I know ID2 as half COX W by N. Okay, this is 2 into VGS2 minus VT whole square. Then I know this VGS1 to be VGS2. Okay, see this voltage, which is VGS1, is same as this voltage, which is VGS2. Okay. So VGS1 equal to VGS2, and ID1, ID2, ID2 is ID. Okay, this ID2 is same as this ID. Right. So further, I will modify this. I will write this as ID2 equals to half mu1 COX W by L 2 VGS1 minus VGS2 minus VT. This I will call it as equation 3. I have simply replaced VGS2 with VGS1. So dividing 2 and 2 divided by 2, not 2, 1, 1. This equation. Okay, 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. Okay, so what I will do? I will get ID1 by ID2 is equal to W by L of 1 divided by W by L of 2 into VGS1 minus VT, VGS minus VT, all of that will get cancelled. This is this is what you're left out with. And this ID1, this ID2 is nothing but ID. Okay, so I'll write it as ID. This, now I know width ratios W2 by W1 as 5, L2 by L1 as 1. Okay, so here I will write it as 1 by 5 because W2 by W1 is 5 is equal to ID1 divided by ID value is given. Yeah, see, it's 0.5 milliamps. So, so from this ID1 is actually 0.1 milliamperes. Okay, ID1 is actually 0.1 milliamperes. So now I know ID1 using this equation. Okay, using this equation, I will find the value of VGS1. When I find the value of VGS1, that is same as VDS1. Then from this I can find the value of R. Okay, so this is the idea here. So in this, so using equation 1. Okay, using equation 1, I know ID1 is half mu1 COX W by L VGS1 minus VT whole square. Okay, substitute all the values here. 0.1 milli equals to half into mu1 COX W by L. That's 0.8 milli. 0.8 milli into VGS1 minus VT, which is 1 whole square. So from this, VGS1 value turns out to be 1.5 volts. Okay, so VGS1 value is 1.5 volts, which is same as VDS1. Okay, which is same as VDS1. This. Now you can use your equation 2 here. Okay, you can use an equation 2 here. So using equation 2. Okay. So from this I get ID1 equals to VDD minus VDS1 plus VSS by R. So from this ID1 is 0.1 milli is equal to VDD, which is 5 volts, minus VDS1, which is 1.5, VSS, which is 5, divided by R. So R value is finally 85 kilo ohms. If you substitute all the values and if you calculate R, okay, it is 5 plus 5, 1.5 divided by 0.1 milli. Okay, so it is 8.85 kilo ohms. Okay, so first part of the problem is done. Next, find VG1 and VG2. Okay, so I know VGS1 to be how much? 1.5 volts, which is actually VG1 minus VSS, correct? Minus this VSS. So VGS1 is nothing but this potential difference and this potential difference. So it is VG1 minus, actually it is minus VSS. Okay, so VSS you know, so 1.5 volts is equal to VG1 minus of minus 5. So from this VG1 is actually minus 3.5 volts. Minus 3.5 volts. Okay, now if VG1 is minus 3.5 volts, VG2 will also obviously be minus 3.5. This how you can ascertain this by looking at the diagram itself. So this value is VG1, the same value for the second transistor Q2 also. So VG1 and VG2 is minus 3.5. Right. Uh, from this, I have to find what is next is I have to find the limiting condition. Okay, it says that the lowest voltage allowed at drain of Q2 while Q2 remains in saturation. So here is essentially asking VD2. Okay, so for that I have to find VDS2. Okay, limiting condition. Limiting condition for Q2 to be in saturation. Okay. So that is VDS2 is equal to VGS2 minus VT. Right. Remember, then I have not found the value of VGS2. I have only found the value of VGS1. Don't you think VGS2 will also be same as VGS1? Again, look at the diagram. If VG value is minus 3.5 volts, okay. If VG value was minus 3.5 volts, then VGS1 and VGS2 will be same, right? So here, this 1.5 volts, VGS1 and VGS2 both are same, right? So VDS2 is equal to VGS1, VGS2, so 1.5 minus 1.5 volts, okay, and VDS2 is VD2 minus VS, which is minus of VSS. Okay, again, look at the diagram. You have instead of ground, you have minus VSS. Right? So it is minus of minus VSS. Substitute all the values 0.5 equal to VD2 minus of minus 5. So I think from this VD2 is minus 4. Okay. So finally, you found all the values. Okay. So this is the VD2 has to be at least minus 4.5 volts for the Q transistor Q to be in saturation. And if that is in saturation, then this ID and ID2 will be set. Okay. So in fact, you are actually steering, not steering the current. Your ID2 is actually a mirrored current of I reference, which is same as ID1. Okay. And the formula for that is this. This is your actual formula. So what we have basically done is we have derived the entire thing. Okay. Then I found it. Then I found the value of ID. Okay. But not necessary. If you remember this, it is fine. Okay. Any queries still here? Any queries still here? With this, we finish off the biasing part of the MOSFET. Now, in the next class, we'll look at the small signal operation. Okay, so that is where it will get a little tricky. So you have to be a little attentive here. Okay, especially the small signal part, because that will get carried over to the next modules. Okay. Any queries? You can ping me. No queries? All right. Then you can use the chat to enter your USN number. I'll take that as the attendance.